As music producers, sometimes what started out as play slowly starts to transform and feel like work. So this begs the question, what is the difference between work and play? If you think about it, do you have to motivate yourself to go hang out with friends, to watch Netflix, to sit down and play a video game? So why does it feel different with music? This is without a doubt something we all face on our journey as creatives. So in this video, I want to talk about how gamer psychology can actually help you level up your music. So let's get it. Go Ouija! Hey yo, it's Alex from Edit My Music, and as always with this channel, it's my mission to help you, the artist, produce themselves by developing their mindset, expanding their creativity, and connecting to their music in a deeper way. And today we're going to talk about video games and how it relates to music and how it can actually make you a better music producer. I don't know about you, but I'm somewhat of a gamer myself. I know Super Mario World like the back of my hand. That can definitely kick your butt in Smash Bros. If anyone wants to challenge me, let me know if you're going down. I've had many consoles over the years, and I've pretty much had a game that I've been rocking throughout my whole life. Gotta say it, I'm kind of a nerd, but I think I've struck a healthy balance. What I'd like to do is explore the mental framework of a gamer attitude and how it can level up your creativity within music production. So check this out. Researcher and game designer Jane McGonigal, I hope I'm saying her name right, coined the term urgent optimism, described as extreme self-motivation, the desire to act immediately and tackle an obstacle. This is coupled with the belief that we have a reasonable hope for success with whatever we're focused on. And she says, quote, "A game is an opportunity to focus our energy with relentless optimism at something we're good at or getting better at and enjoy." Pretty interesting quote, right? So if we zoom out from video games and we think about music, in the real world, especially within creative endeavors, when we face challenges, puzzles, and obstacles, we often feel stressed and overwhelmed. We don't feel this urgent optimism. We feel overwhelmed and kind of defeated. But it's funny how those problems just don't exist in the context of games. In the gaming world, typically when we confront an obstacle or a roadblock or opposition, we're eager to solve it. We're excited to solve it. Whenever you fight a boss, you're ready and you're pumped to slap them silly. So why is it not the same with creative adversaries? All right, picture yourself an RPG character, which would definitely not be Luigi, but whatever. Picture yourself an RPG character. Regardless of where your current skills are, the more you gain experience, the sharper your skills will become. The more you engage, the more you level up. The only key is that you play regularly, so you don't forget the muscle memory, you don't forget all the moves, all that kind of stuff. It's exactly the same with music production. We're faced with all these creative problems and roadblocks and obstacles which require a solution that's completely dependent on your artistic opinion and creativity. However, these types of problems in the studio can sometimes make us feel anxious, depressed, frustrated, or even damn cynical about the whole thing. But the underlying truth is this: if you consistently show up, you're going to continue to sharpen your creative chops and inevitably level up. And we all know what badass things can happen once your character reaches a high level, right? So how can we employ this concept of gameplay into your music production? Let's talk about respawning your perspective around making music, okay? So one of the most common mental struggles for artists is what is called perfectionism, okay? So wanting something to be perfect, having this endless quest to create something perfect and obliterating any and all failures and mistakes that lie in our path. What perfectionism actually does is often demonizes mistakes, makes us wallow in self-judgment, and keeps us in fear of the opinion of others. And the aftermath of all of these internal battles that we face is that we lose motivation. And the truth is, you won't always feel motivated to make music. It's impossible to stay 100% motivated to do something all the time. It ebbs and flows. But contrasting perfectionism, we have to flip our thinking and learn to accept the fact that you will make mistakes and it's going to feel like you're failing at certain points. Okay? And that's normal. You'll hit walls over and over and over again, and it's just part of the creative process. It's even part of being human. We make mistakes. okay? And nothing at the end of the day is ever perfect. So perfection is an illusion. Perfection ain't real though. The silver lining is that there is nothing wrong with that, okay? Everybody experiences it, and you don't have to worry if you feel doubtful, if you're not feeling motivated to make music, if you don't feel good about the music you're making. It's all good. It's part of the process. A great example of harnessing this skill of being okay with failure, okay with making mistakes, okay with having to try things multiple times is the video games in the Dark Souls series. And for those of you who might not have heard of it, it's a relatively modern game series known for its extreme difficulty. Okay, I'm not kidding. I must have died thousands of times per installment. In the face of its unforgiving difficulty, players are encouraged by the game to proceed with caution, with strategy, to learn from past mistakes, or find alternative areas to explore in the game path. So the key is this: the game forces you to accept that you will constantly fail. It trains you to embrace failure, and it's partly what made the franchise so popular. Somehow I managed to play through and complete every installment of this game. Yeah, I might be a little crazy. Talk about brutal perseverance, my friend. So in Dark Souls, you start out the game with a specific class or character type. You receive a head start with certain skills, and it's the place where you start your quest. This could totally parallel what current skills you have mastered already within music, what genres of music you're strong in, and what you're familiar with already. And don't worry if you're just getting started with music production, there is a no class option in the game where you are naked and start out with no skills, weapon, or armor. So yes, the analogy still works. As you progress through the game, you're met with relentless resistance and constant challenges. You begin to think to yourself, like, what the fuck am I doing? This game sucks. This is way too hard. It's not fair, man. Sound familiar? I know I've had all those thoughts while making music. The awesome thing about Dark Souls is that if you stay consistent with your attempts and don't throw your controller through the screen, you slowly start to progress further. You start to understand the combat mechanics, the enemy patterns, you develop some strategy, and you discover new areas in the game. The beautiful thing is, as with most RPGs, is that as you progress through the game, you level up your character and decide what skills you want to strengthen. You get new armor, you get new spells, you get new weapons, and you become more skillful, more powerful as you unlock new abilities, develop your own personal preferences, and develop a unique play style. That's one thing that's very magnetic about Dark Souls, is that as you actually start to level up and become more powerful, start to actually be able to kill some enemies easily, you actually start to mold your character in a fighting style that matches what you like. This echoes the same transformational power of making art, of making music, is that all the hard work you put into developing your skills and your craft will start to reveal themselves in your artistic sound and what you do. And this becomes an endless feedback loop for growth. As you begin to discover the mechanics, the creative flow that you jive with, and the weapons, the tools that you prefer, you gain insights as to what skills you further need to refine. And you didn't learn what skills you need to refine by some YouTube tutorial, by what somebody else said you should focus on. You discovered this by taking action in your own music and facing those enemies, facing those struggles, and overcoming them yourself to then discover, I think I need to work on this for this situation. My music is strong here, but I struggle with this, so now I'm going to focus on that. And nothing else will give you more insight as to what to focus on next other than your music. As you continue to adopt new skill sets and you push your tools and your creative workflow to higher levels, this will lead you to discovering even more tools and developing more advanced techniques. This is when you actually start to obliterate the enemies and the bosses because you've mastered your way of playing the game. It's in the process of solving problems that you grow, develop, and learn. And in this circle of continuous trying things, hitting obstacles, solving problems, growing new skill sets, it's a full circle destined for mastery. All right, so let's talk about a few ways you can actually gamify your music making practice to make it feel more like a game and less like work, so you can have fun developing your skills and have fun finding your own sound and doing your own thing. So we got to think, what is it about games that remove our internal filters and let us think that we can achieve anything? So here are some insights from the virtual world of gaming. Quote, when you strip away all the genre differences and the technological complexities, all games share 4 defining traits: a goal, rules, a feedback system, and voluntary participation. Again, from Jane McGonigal. So let's go over these 4 traits, and I'm going to add one special one at the end. Number 1, urgent optimism. So this is the idea that you face constant challenge, but you are excited and ambitious to try again. This sounds like it could be pretty useful in making the music, no? To really think about this, we want to kind of take ourselves back into the headspace of a child playing a game. Rediscover the joy of solving creative problems and the upbeat attitude of wanting to try again, even if you lose a round. So whenever you face a problem in your music, if you're arranging a song, or if you're coming up with ideas, or if you're mixing your track, how can you make that so that it's fun to keep trying? Or when you hit an obstacle, that you're excited to try something different instead of feeling defeated. Number 2 is blissful productivity. So multiple studies have shown that we are magnitudes happier when we're engaged in purposeful work as opposed to having free time and relaxing. Now, I'm not downplaying the importance of having some downtime and relaxing, but in general, when you're working towards something you're super passionate about and you're excited about, you're gonna be in a more uplifted state than just chilling back, relaxing, watching Netflix. You know, you've already felt this feeling while making music when you're in that ecstatic moment of flow state. Good times. So if you can adopt the right perspective and have a functional creative process, then you're going to start fiending for your next session. And hey, by the way, if you'd like to learn more about how to develop a functional creative process and really make it your own, I invite you to check out my masterclass called How to Master the 3 Secrets of the Creative Process. I've packed a jam full of insights that I've learned on the 10 plus years in my music journey. So if you want to check that out, definitely check it out in the link below. Number 3 is epic story. So super-powered, hopeful characters arise out of the gamer culture. So how can we transform and embody that in a real-world situation? How can you emerge as a hero of your own quest? Well, first, you need a quest, all right? In video games, most of the time, there is always a mission, all right? There's always a purpose, something that you're working towards. In good old Mario and Luigi here, most of the time, the mission, the goal, the quest is to save the princess from the reptilian overlord. And within that narrative, there is always an immediate goal for you to complete. Okay, it's intelligently matched to your skill level as well. All right, so in a video game, you have this quest, you have this mission, and along with consistent collaborative support from NPCs, which are just computer players, or online players, you're placed in a problem-solving environment. And in this type of space where there's a clear goal and everybody in your environment is supporting you on that quest, motivation is hardly an issue. How can you create a compelling narrative for yourself to immerse yourself in the craft, in the quest of creating something amazing? This is an underlying why behind your efforts, which is actually going to help you feel so much more motivated if you can define it. Because for most of us, we got pulled into music because it did something impactful in our lives. We were attracted to it. It seemed interesting and fun. And we should always try to find that space again within making music. How can I make this fun? How can I make this more engaging? How can I feed my curiosity with what I'm doing in my music? But that will only last so long unless you start to have a reason for continuing to take action. That initial spike of interest and curiosity and fun will wane pretty quickly. But if you have a quest, it can tremendously help you continue to take action. So for example, I'm going to finish an EP by the end of this year, or I'm going to finish 4 tracks that I've been working on forever by the end of this month. Or maybe you have a giant master plan with your music and you want to get movie syncs and you want to tour the world and you want massive Spotify plays. Great, those are great quests. Number 4 is positive feedback. So how do video games keep people playing? So if you look at video gamers, it's pretty addicting, right? It's addicting to continue to play a game and get better and better and unlock all the stuff. But if we look at that, how can somebody stay motivated for thousands of hours in one area of focus? Well, one of the greatest motivators in the world of video games is that it incorporates consistent positive feedback. You're constantly receiving cues that reinforce your accomplishments. So the classic 1-up, or level complete, or you got 913 experience, new skill unlocked, foe vanquished. All of these things are positive reinforcements on your actions, okay? You're getting encouragement. You're saying, yes, good job, keep going. Yes, amazing. So if you think back to your music making, do you have something that's giving you positive feedback? If you can set up some sort of habit or system or network or way that you can receive consistent positive feedback on your actions, it's going to help you build good habits. Number 5, and this is one I've added on top of Jane's 4, but this one is actually quite powerful, and it's the idea of competition. So if you think about games beyond just video games, like sports, card games, video games, any kind of game, a lot of the time there will be built-in competition to that game. You're trying to beat the other players. You're trying to beat other people online. You're trying to win money if you're gambling with cards or something, right? You want your team to win over the other team. And that idea of competition in a positive way, okay? I'm not talking about raging and dissing your opponents. That's crazy talk. But healthy competition can be a very strong motivator. So for example, if you have a couple friends that also produce music and one of them is just like, hey, check this out, and they made an amazing track, most likely it's going to encourage you to want to make an amazing track as well, right? And follow their lead. So creating fun challenges with your friends or group or community that you're part of to hit a certain musical goal within a certain time frame can create an environment where you have a little bit more pep in your step, where you definitely want to show up a little bit more because you have other people who are on that journey with you. So let me know, do you play video games? Would you consider yourself a gamer? What are you playing right now? Or is there any video games that have really impacted you in your life in a positive way? I'd love to hear in the comments down below. And also, what do you think about this in general? Can you see how some of the things that keep video game players coming back can see themselves manifesting in your music production? And if so, what are you going to try to do to help gamify your music making? If you want to stay in tune for the next MetaMind Music Transmission, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you got value out of this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. And until the next time, I will see you in the next video. I just realized, isn't it mind-blowing that we use controllers for video games, but we also use controllers for music? Whoa.